Discmania S-Line P3X is finally coming out on April 10th, and I had a chance to use it early, and here's my quick 5-minute review on the disc. First of all, quick info on me. I'm an 870 rated player. I've only played for less than 2 years, and I can chuck my drivers about 110 to 120 meters on backhand and about 90 to 100 on forehand, just so that you have a reference point for these shots. I'm not a huge arm thrower, so obviously the disc might behave differently for you. The P3X is obviously an old Innova made mold that recently made its return through the Iron Stone, but that was only available through the mystery box, and this is the first version as a stock run. So you will be seeing some comparisons here between both the S-Line P3X, the Iron Stone, and I even chucked in an Aviar X3 in there just to give you another reference point. First of all, the actual disc was super smooth. I really liked the grip of the S-Line, and compared to the Star Aviar X3, it honestly felt way better. Better grip and no flashing and just smooth all around. It was really windy out on the field, so these shots aren't super accurate here in the headwind as you're seeing right now. Some of them are turning over like crazy, and I really struggled to get a good comparison here. To some degree my fault due to how inconsistent the throws were. But if we move over to the tailwind shots here with a, I would say, mild tailwind, I thought I got some good comparisons. When I threw it just straight, it kind of just holds that line for a bit and starts slowly fading. Not as drastic of a fade as when you throw something like a tactic or zone, which is really nice. And even here you can see some of my Anheuser shots with all of the discs that actually went surprisingly far, and I think this also shows the stability difference, as the Aviar X3 was noticeably more overstable than the P3X. But I'm gonna be honest and say that between the Iron Stone and the P3X S-Line, I did not notice much stability difference. Maybe the Iron Stone was a slight bit more stable if I had to pick one of them, but the difference was fairly small. But if you move over to the forehand, which was honestly what I wanted it mostly for, you'll see a zone throw here first, which obviously fades quite hard, and this is exactly what I wanted the P3X for. These kind of straight forehand shots that can actually handle some power but not have a massive fade. And there's also a couple of flex shots here where I throw it on Anheuser and all of them flexes out really nicely. I do, however, have to say that I did have a couple of times when I turned it over when I threw forehand. Obviously I might have a little bit too much off-axis torque, but I did notice that it was way more sensitive to that than something like the zone, which I very rarely turn over. So even right here with some of my kind of slower shots, I still turned the disc over on a forehand, but the more I practiced with it and actually realized that I have to release it on a bit of hyzer and then it flips up to flat and goes forward, I started really enjoying it. And I think these are a couple of examples of where I really wanted the P3X. Like on this hole, it kind of goes over the hill, and whenever I used the zone, it would fade kind of too hard and end up to the right side of the basket, and there wasn't enough room to flex it. So right here I could throw the P3X on a bit of hyzer, it flips up to flat, but just holds that line, and unfortunately even went past the basket, but luckily I made the putt. And on the backhand, I was surprised of how far it went, as this is actually an 84-meter hole, and as you can see, when I tried to throw it on full power with my backhand, I actually went like 10-15 past the hole, which made no sense to me because that's almost as far as I throw my drivers. But I noticed that if I gave the P3X full power with the backhand, it would just keep straight for really long with a slight fade on the end, which was really nice. Again, on the forehand it's a bit touchier, but on this hole too I was able to throw it on a slight hyzer. It went up to flat, turned a little bit, and then faded nicely. And I haven't really had any slow disc that I could do that with before, because the tactic or the zone doesn't really flip up anything for me. It just kind of holds the angle I throw it at and then fades pretty hard. So this was a really nice compliment to my bag, and overall I think this disc is gonna do what most people want it to do. If you enjoyed the review, I would love to get some feedback in the comments below, as I really had a lot of fun filming this video. And if you're looking for some fun, unique disc golf apparel now that the season has kickstarted, consider heading over to my website discmerch.com. Any purchases greatly supports the content. Thank you for watching and see you in the next video.